Howdy Chunky, my name's Alex Belfield and this is The Voice of Reason. I didn't want to make this video and I intended to make no news videos before my return to alexbelfield.com on July the 6th, where I can actually have free speech. I'm perilously close to being cut off of YouTube as the mainstream media are working together in cahoots to get me banned and cancelled, as they have promoted. You only have to Google it. It's not my opinion, nor is it rallying the troops. They want us silenced and they want us in prison for words. And when I saw this tweet come up, I had to do something. And next, I need your help.
Don't trust the mainstream media. They'll make your teeth itch. Alex Belfield's Voice of Reason.
Lucy Connolly is the lady who is the poster girl for how not to do free speech. To have an opinion on Facebook has landed her behind bars, and today it appears that she has been manhandled at HMP Peterborough, where Richard Tice has put out an interview saying that she is bruised. Now, I have a problem with this, Richard, because you've now put her in grave danger, because the HMP dark forces will get their own back. And the MOJ gatekeepers who work them from behind will now probably move her prisons because you've identified where she is. And they will almost certainly make her life a misery in very, very clever ways, as they did with me. Whilst I was in prison for 2 years, 9 months, I wrote 6 books, 4 of which about HMP. Now, I must say, most of the officers I worked with, because I was on a job, an investigative journalist job, to expose the crooked, bent and indeed in collapse prison service. But unfortunately, some of the worst element in a prison will now get their own back on Lucy Connolly, and I worry for her this evening. What I want to say to you is this. Please do the biggest favour for me that you could, and the biggest favour for her, by writing to her. You saved my life over nearly 3 years behind bars, where I was isolated, gagged, and unable to have any profile, let alone time with my family, my loved ones, or my friends. It was intended to kill me. They did not put me in prison for me to come back looking this good, alive, and full of spirit to want to return to the Voice of Reason on July the 6th at alexbelfield.com. They didn't want me to write my 6 books, the first of which is now available, my autobiography. They don't want that. They wanted me dead and gone, as they do with Lucy Connolly, because she's a thorn in their side. The only thing that keeps you alive while you're in prison is the telephone, which you have in your pad. At my prison, which is the newest Boris nonce-ridden prison, Foss Way it was called, HMP 5 Wells is the same. They're mixing, they're trialling, using prisoners as guinea pigs to put pedos with proper professional criminals. And I didn't want to talk about this either, but I will be doing it at alexbelfield.com and in book 3, 4 and 5, where I explain why you can't mix nonces with proper criminals, but that's not why you called. The problem is that when you're high profile in prison, you don't know who anyone else is, but they know who you are. And that puts Lucy at great risk. By Richard Tice doing what he thinks is a nice thing and an honourable thing, I think has now made her very vulnerable, because when angels like Katie Hopkins came to see me, very quickly I was put on a bus and shoved to the arsehole of Wiltshire to be in a shithole like Earlstoke, which was not very pleasant. You can read about that in my 4th prison book called A Shore Wank Redemption. It is actually called A Shore Wank Redemption. I just want you to get hold of Lucy Connolly. You can do it in 2 ways. So find a prisoner. If you go to find a prisoner, they ask if she wants you to contact them, and then we'll know whether she does or not. By the way, I can't. I'm not allowed for 3 months to visit anyone in prison or contact anyone in prison, or I'll be recalled to prison, which is what they desperately want, to shut me up and stop me making videos like this. But you can. Contact Lucy Connolly. Ask where she is. I believe she's at HMP Peterborough, according to Richard Tice. I may be wrong, but that seems to be the information we have. But you can go to find a prisoner. Then email aprisoner.com once you have her number. And by the way, this information is not really widely available. Mine was A4747EW, which is ironic, as my favourite plane is 747. So somebody was looking down and having a little laugh. God does make the funniest jokes now, doesn't he? So what I beg of you is, do me a favour. This isn't about me, this is about her. The only way she's going to survive this tyrannical bullshit, this disgusting abuse of power, this will make an example of you, which is exactly what they did with me. Nobody gets 5.5 years for words, but I did. Why? Well, because they could. So the last two people convicted, for example, of my case, which was a Shirley Ballast stalker, got a suspended sentence. And last week, the Heart DJ stalker on the same thing got a suspended sentence, as did Hugh Edwards, the BBC's highest paid paedophile. He got a suspended sentence, but not me, 5.5 years. They made an example of me, which is what they've done with Lucy Connolly. She shouldn't have pled guilty. If you're ever in, I'm going to talk about all this at alexbelfield.com, the advice about how you handle the evil, corrupt police, how you handle MOJ and the lawyers, the lessons I've learnt, I want to pass to you. It's so important. But the number one thing right now is we need to protect Lucy, because she's very vulnerable from the dark forces within HMP, of which there are many, and more importantly, those pulling the strings at MOJ, who are going to get their own back for this story, because that's what they do. They're utterly malicious. I've had it myself. I've lived it. This is my lived experience. So if you don't like it, stick your head up your backside and blow your nose till the pressure equalizes. Lucy, we love you all very much. I hope word from this video and the many others who have supported you, the hundreds of thousands of people and millions in this country who think this is utter bullshit, we're behind you. I want you to see now what the letters did for me. I had thousands of them. I read them and I replied to every single one of them every single day. Please find out where Lucy Connolly is. Find her A number. A4747EW was mine. She'll have one similar. Then write to the prison. They have to, by law, give her those letters. They will be checked. All of the letters you're about to see, I'll show you what happened to me. These were all checked in and out. And then when I handed them out, they were checked again. I had 2 OSGs, open and shut gates. I think it's what it stands for at HMP. 2 prison officers working on my mailbag. But this saved my life. Watch this. Lucy, we love you, and there's nothing they can do about it. You will get out, you will come out stronger, and your family and your fans love you. You're a hero, darling. This is bullshit.
Did you hear that? That was the voice of fucking reason, wasn't it?